Hello, it's another time to be with you on The Verdict, the program that chronicles events and activities in the socio-political terrain in Nigeria. Well, I welcome you to yet another edition of the program. And this edition, we're going to be talking about one man who is always in the news in Nigeria's polity. Well, no less than the former governor of Efcc State, the propagator and the initiator of stomach infrastructure. Well, whether you like it or not, this man is loved by his people and they love his stomach infrastructure program. Well, how much they loved it, that is a matter for debate on another day, because he lost the last election to Dr. Kayode Fayose. Well, I wouldn't say it, because technically he wasn't on the ballot. His successor, his anointed successor, lost the election to Dr. Kayode Fayose, meaning that there were still a lot of people who were not really in support of stomach infrastructure in the Efcc State. Well, that's a different story. Now, the issue now is this man has been granted bail in the sum of 50 million naira bond and a surety in the like sum by a federal high court in Lagos. And there was a wild jubilation in court premises after the bail was granted to Mr. Fayose. Well, I don't know why people were jubilating because this man was granted bail. It would naturally be granted bail. It's a bailable offense. He didn't commit murder. He wasn't charged, for murder or committing security breach against the state. It was a case of fraud, and $5 million, about 1.8 billion Nigerian naira. And well, this it's not something very straightforward. But then I knew that he would be granted bail. Now, what I do not know, and that's why I'm doing this today, is: do you think Governor Fayose will will be freed in the end, or do you think that it will go the way of the former governor of Plateau State, who is languishing in jail right now? Well, it's a matter for the courts to determine. The issue, the arguments will start in November, and when the arguments begin, we'll be telling you the way things are going. But importantly, so many issues have been thrown up by this case, and let us look at what the issues really are. By the law courts. A federal high court in Lagos on Wednesday fixed November 19 for the trial of the former governor, Ayodele Fayose, to commence after he was granted a bail in the sum of 50 million naira, like I did tell you. Fayose is standing trial on a charge of 6.9 billion naira electioneering campaign fraud. It was arranged on October 22nd by the Efcc alongside his company, Spotless Investment Limited, on 11 counts. Now, Fayose has pleaded not guilty to the charges, and the court ordered his remand in Efcc custody and adjourned the case for hearing of his bail application on Wednesday. The defense counsel urged the court to grant bail to the accused on self-recognition as a former governor. However, the prosecutor, Mr. Rotimi Jacob, SAN, objected to the application and informed the court that a counter affidavit in opposition to bail had been filed. According to him, although bail is a constitutional right, but there are limitations. The issue of presumption of innocence has to do with trial, and for now, no one is saying Mr. Fayose is guilty. The counsel said the prosecution was also eager for an accelerated hearing of the case and urged the court to order an accelerated trial. Jacobs also opposed the application for bail on self-recognizance on the grounds that being a former governor was not a yardstick for granting bail, as it did not guarantee attendance of the accused in court. After the arguments and counter-argument, the court consequently held that the defendant is admitted to bail in the sum of 50 million naira with one surety in like sum. The judge added that the surety must present a bond of 50 million naira from a reputable insurance company or a first-line bank acceptable to the court. The judge held that there must also be the production of 3 years tax clearance, while the accused must ensure he attended court for trial unfailingly. Otherwise, the bond would be forfeited. The court ordered that the international passport of Fayose be deposited in the court's registry. She adjourned the case until November 19. Don't also forget that Musiliu Banikoro was involved in this case. Fayose was alleged to have received a cash payment of 5 million naira. I also need to let you know that the former Minister of State for Defense, Senator Musiliu Banikoro, was involved in the whole of this, and he was actually the one who was alleged to have given the former governor the sum of $5 million, approximately 1.8 billion naira. About 366 million naira was retained in his Zenith Bank account, and there is a whole lot of mix up here and there, and of course there are some issues that have been thrown up in the media, but we'll get to know. Don't forget that this matter is still in court. But my interest here is that, do you think that Governor Fayose will survive this latest onslaught? It's a legal battle against the EFCC. Do you think it will survive it? And if not, do you think that it is right to have been it's right for the federal government, the EFCC, to have taken him to court? Because I've read in some quarters that if I were President Muhammadu Buhari, I would just leave Fayose alone, just let him go, let him just go in peace. They've defeated him in the election. At least that has shown him that he's not above everybody in the Ekiti state. They've shown him how not to make noise. Again, but then some other quarters, people have said that, look, it does not matter whether they are playing politics. The issue of legality or otherwise of actions of elected officials need to be brought to the fore. We need to know what is happening. If somebody has done something wrong, there is a need for the appropriate government agency such as the EFCC, ICPC, and the rest of them to take over when there is no immunity. But I'm going to leave you with what I found very interesting, and that is the jubilation after Governor Fayose was granted bail yesterday. I mean, it's very instructive, I must let you know. But then, I'll be waiting for your comments, contribution on this show. Do you think the former governor is being treated right? Do you think that anybody is doing something that is not supposed to have been done in this democracy? Well, hit me and let us share thoughts on the verdict.
Happy that at least the man will be out, the man will have his freedom, the man will be able to move around while we also face why we face the trial. Whether we like it or not, it will not be easy for someone to be in detention for a whole week. Somebody who was governor who was just leaving office, his other colleagues will leave office and travel abroad to go and rest. On his own, he submitted himself to the Efcc. And I want to say this pointedly. It is a challenge to the federal government, to the APC-led federal government. Fayose has thrown a challenge to them. Those that have been accused among them should also do the same. They should also go to the Efcc and say, oh, here I am. You accused me of doing this and that. I have come to clear my name. I'm submitting myself to be investigated and to be prosecuted if need be.
Right thing is all those people that is corrupted, all the people that they are alleging that they took money or they did this or that, let all of them be arrested.